All right, we've got the Week 11 recaps here. First, we had the Patriots taking on the New York Jets, and the Patriots have been having a great season, but the New York Jets and Alex Smith find a way to come away with the victory, 28-24. That was a surprise victory there, but the Patriots continue to march on as they try to get past the Dolphins for the lead in the division. This game definitely hurts. Then you've got the Washington Commanders taking on the Miami Dolphins, and it's the Dolphins who come away with this one. It should have been the Commanders, but as you can see, that play right there was like with 5 seconds left in the game, and Newton just chucked it down there to Calvin Johnson Jr., and they come away with the tying touchdown, went for 2, and they got it, so they won the game. So Miami, they continue their lead in the AFC and in the entire NFL. Then you've got the Houston Texans taking on the Tennessee Titans. So Texans do lead the division currently, and are trying to continue to stay on top. Michael Vick there throwing a beautiful ball there. It's the imaginary receiver, invisible. There he is. And so that's Bennett. And so Bennett takes it to the house for the Houston Texans. And then we had a few more. So we had the Green Bay Packers taking on the New York Giants. And here we go. Brock Osweiler. He's got a nickname in the Discord. But he's completing the pass there to Santonio Holmes. And it was a beatdown, 41-27. The Giants are up there and competitive for the NFC East. But the Green Bay Packers currently lead, or I believe they're very close to leading the NFC North. Then you have a tight game, 5-4. The Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams, and it was a beatdown here again. So the Rams just absolutely trounced the Seattle Seahawks. It was just big play after big play, all going for the Rams. Then I think it was Monday Night Football. You've got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Raiders. I didn't even realize they both wore their home jerseys or their colored jerseys. And it's the Dallas Cowboys taking down the Oakland Raiders. They move up to 7-3, the Dallas, and 6-4 for the Oakland Raiders. Now let's get to the deep dive of the season. So we saw most of the game highlights. I wish that they would actually allow you to see all of the week's highlights. But some of the games you didn't see, Tampa Bay beats the Buffalo Bills 24-14. We got the Chargers beating the Jaguars. Oh, I didn't mean to click on it. There you go. 40-21, so big victory there by the Chargers. We had the Bengals falling to the Steelers 45-35. Todd Gurley has turned on the heat recently. I can go look at him and show you how he's been performing this year. The Chiefs in Denver, 21-18. So Chiefs are 6-4 with Blake Bortles and Sam Bradford, and the Broncos keep falling this season. We have Jimmy Garoppolo defeating Joe Flacco's Panthers, 25-27. The Panthers got a field goal, and then the Falcons got a field goal to win the game. Cardinals, who've had an abysmal season, come away with a victory here over the 49ers. So right now the Rams and the Niners, Rams just passed the Niners by a half game, 6-4, 6-5. Browns beat the Ravens, and this was a crazy game because Peyton Manning got his team into field goal range with 9 seconds to go, and they kicked the field goal. And then Terrell Pryor lobs the ball up with 5 seconds to go, and Philip Dorsett catches the touchdown pass and wins the game. And so normally that's not a Browns thing to do, and the Browns moved to 5-5. And I don't know what it is about Baltimore, but they just can't win in this league. Peyton Manning is trying to bring him back into a competitive season, but it's just not going their way. Bears defeat the Vikings, so Nick Foles gets a win this year, and that's very rare for Chicago. And then the Detroit Lions also defeat the Eagles. This was a shocking loss for Philadelphia, who have been so good in this franchise up until this season. So when we look to the league breakdown here, let's go to the standings. So right now we got Miami 9-2. They're the best team in the league by 2 games. Doesn't matter what conference. The Patriots, they would be one of the top teams in the NFC, but they are behind the Dolphins. And then you've got the Bills and the Jets kind of in weak no man's land. It's still early enough that really anything could happen if one of these teams go on a run, but it's not looking good for either of those two teams. Bills doing all right with rookie quarterback, though, Marcus Mariota. has got them at 500. I think they have more wins than they did last year. Pittsburgh looking to be in fair control of their division. Browns and Ravens are trying to come back in that division. Bengals look like they're probably after 5 straight losses, so they were 3-2 at one point. Not looking good for the remainder of the season. Houston looks like they're very clearly in front of the AFC South with 4 wins above their opponents. Colts, who were 3-1, are now 6 losses straight. You got the Los Angeles Chargers. They are 8-3, and they're in probably the most competitive division because you got 6-4 Raiders and the Chiefs, and then Denver's kind of a little bit out of it. Look at the NFC. You got Dallas now 1 game ahead of the Giants. Had the Giants been able to beat the Packers, they would have been ahead. And then you've got the Giants, Commanders, kind of 1 game apart. And the Eagles are looking pretty low in this in these standings. The Packers were able to get that game lead over the Minnesota Vikings, thanks to the Chicago Bears beating their division opponent. But Detroit and Chicago, 3-7, they're probably battling for one of the lowest picks. And every team has 3 wins, which I noticed. So they're starting, like, the bad teams aren't like 0-10 or 0-11. And then we've got the NFC South with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 7-3. We got the Saints that are 5-5. Carolina Panthers 5-6. So they will probably be, I guess the division's still in play, but then you got Jimmy Garoppolo and the Falcons, 4-6, probably less likely. Then you got the Rams and the 49ers and the Seahawks, all very competitive for the NFC West. We'll see if anyone's able to get ahead there. We look at league standings. Worst team in the league is right now the Titans, Colts, and Jaguars. So the AFC South, Bengals, Bears, Cardinals, and Lions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 7 worst teams all have the same record. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes and see how the remaining picks line up. When we look at league leaders real quick, Aaron Rodgers now is number 1 with Brady, Newton, Matt Ryan, and Peyton Manning. And even though he's having a rough season, he's still top 5 passer. Newton leads with touchdowns with Rodgers, Brady, Stafford, and Dalton. We've got, I guess there's a tie here, so Smith and Brock Osweiler also tied for 5th. Rushing yards, you've got Chris Johnson already over 1,100 yards, and it's only week 12. You got Best, Richardson, Gurley, and DeMarco Murray. He's also killing it with touchdowns. I think he's the MVP candidate. Then we've got Trent Richardson, Gurley, who's right now doing fan-frickin-tastic. I wanted to go highlight Gurley. Let's go to Gurley. No, here. So these last few games are the highlights. So let's see. We got 182 yards against the Bengals, 41 yards against the Chargers, 187 yards against the Colts, then 18 against Green Bay, 146 against Cincinnati. It's like he started to have like alternating good, like fantastic elite games and then subpar games. We got 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. But Gurley has definitely given a major spark to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Receiving leaders, we got Beckham, Sanders, Gordon, Landry, Jennings. And Jennings, these are receptions. Yards, we got Wallace, Beckham, Olsen, Sanders, and A.J. Green. We got Mike Wallace with the most touchdowns, tied with Calvin Johnson Jr. and Stephon Diggs, who is a rookie. He has had a pretty solid season with Brock Osweiler. We'll see if they decide to get a bigger, better quarterback in the future. For Green Bay, or if they stick with Osweiler. Because the thing about Osweiler is his touchdown-to-interception ratio is really good. We got Von Miller just slaying it on defense, probably Defensive Player of the Year. Taylor Mays, we've got Southward, Moore, Wilson, and Matthew on tackles. Interceptions, we got Sean Smith tied with Barry and Manti Te'o. So Te'o's actually doing pretty good as the Mike linebacker, getting some interceptions. And then they got Adrian Amos. So Panthers are getting takeaways. Forced fumbles, we got Everett Brown. I know we've had that discussion before in the chat. He's having quite the year. Luke Kuechly right behind him with Barr, Jason Pierre-Paul, Dwell Jackson. Defensive touchdowns has not changed. So we look at player stats here. If we look at Osweiler, he is 20 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So he's probably having one of the best ratios of everybody. Because then you've got, not necessarily Cam Newton, 26 and 6. That's a pretty good touchdown to interception ratio. Winston, 18 to 7. We look at the touchdown leaders here. Stafford is 21-3. He's doing a good job of keeping protection of the ball. Dalton, 20-7 ratio, 8 ratio for Alex Smith. Our league leader in interceptions is Derek Carr, and that shows the record of the Bengals. Old man Donovan McNabb, Joe Flacco, Wacko Flacco, 17 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Panthers might have to decide whether they move on from Flacco. He's been their guy for many, many years, but they might be time to move on if he can't protect the ball. We look at rushing. I don't think there's... Let's see. Trying to see if there's any stats that get your attention. When we look at award races, let's go ahead and do that. You see Dolphins coach, so Jim Harbaugh and Bill Belichick are the two that are in the top. The Giants, I'm trying to... that's John Gruden for the Giants. Dallas is Mike Shanahan, and the Raiders is Hugh Jackson. So those are the top 5 candidates for Coach of the Year. MVP is Johnson, Newton, Rodgers, Vick, or Terrell Pryor is working his way in there because he's almost got 1,000 yards rushing, which is freaking insane. Offensive player, definitely Johnson. We look at defensive player, Von Miller. Rookie of the Year, Stephon Diggs, Todd Gurley, or Philip Dorsett. Then we got defensive rookie is Dante Fowler, who's at 8.5 sacks this year. Adrian Amos, Jake Ryan. Interesting, he's up there for defensive rookie of the year. How is he at 91 overall? That's... Yeah, I have to do some league adjustments with these ratings. They're progressing way too fast. I got to fix that. And then we've got best quarterback, running back, best receiver. You can take a look at and pause the screen if you want a deeper look at these. D lineman, of course, Von Miller with Fowler, Everett Brown, Pierre-Paul, Bruce Irvin. Let's see. Is there anything else that you'd want to see? Preview. Oh, okay. This is the week preview. If any of you want to take a look at who's playing who. We got some interesting games up ahead. We got the Buccaneers and the Rams both trying to stay ahead in their division. We've got the Packers. And Packers and Vikings. That's a playoff game right there to see who can stay on top of the division. And then we got the Eagles and Cowboys, so common division game. We'll see if the Eagles are able to get some redemption against the Cowboys for their division. Looks like the Cowboys are favored, Packers are favored, and the Rams are favored. We look at the Patriots versus the Bengals, and the Bengals are not favored, right? Because minuses means that you're favored. So the Patriots are expected to win that one. You got the Giants versus the Lions, and there's a 0 spread. So it's a 50-50 gamble there, whether it's the Giants or the Lions. You got the Falcons versus the Saints, and that's an advantage for the Saints by 3. You got the Jets versus the Ravens, both 4 and 6 teams. Ravens by 2. Then you look at the Bills and the Texans. An advantage for the Texans. Browns and Raiders. So this is an important game for Oakland. Cleveland trying to work their way up to challenging Pittsburgh. Carolina Panthers are 5 and 6. 6 and 5 49ers. So 49ers are favored in that home game. Pittsburgh versus Chicago, and they're favored by 1. The Pittsburgh Steelers are. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Chiefs, and it's the Chiefs that are expected to win that one. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Titans, and the Titans are not favored to win, so the Seahawks are expected to get that one. And then Jaguars versus Cardinals, both crappy teams, and the Cardinals are expected to win that one. So yeah, there you have it. So interesting update. So looking forward to keeping this season going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.